Hey there, Shooby Doodlers, how are you doing? It is the season to be jolly, and I have created 27 new little patterns, and that's 27 little ideas for doodles, for patterns in the background, whatever. You'll find the timeline across the bottom of the YouTube video is all broken up into chapters so you can switch from one pattern to another very quickly and easily. That's all I need to say, so let's not talk about it. Let's do it. Now this is a useful little device if you're doing practice drawings, because you can just make little squares like this so that you don't have to draw great big pictures. You can just draw little pictures, which means you get them done a lot more quickly. And it gives you these little areas to focus on. Click up here for another video I made all about practicing and how you could use this to do practice drawings. And if you want all the dimensions and a download sheet for it and everything like that, just join me on Patreon. All the details are in the description box below. This is my sketchbook, and I've been working out all these kind of seasonal patterns and things that we can turn into seasonal patterns, which work really well for practice drawing as well. It's about developing accuracy, really. So let's start about here. In fact, let's start in the middle. Let's think about how we can draw things accurately. Now we're going to draw across, so the bottom one is a little bit longer, and then we can put little dots around there. So this is a little kind of seasonal star. And then if we do that so that we get the proportions, equal proportions. And what we're trying to do is to draw things so that they look pretty similar. So we want to fill that space there like that, and then we can come down to there. And we can do that diagonal. That must be a bit longer. See, I rushed it there. And as soon as you rush it, it all starts to go wrong. So let's do another one there like that. And we'll draw them neatly in there. That's not quite long enough. And then we'll draw another one there. And then we want to repeat this one up at the top. So we'll it's all about fitting in and sort of placing. Then we just go around and finish off with all the dots. That looks simple, but it's all about placement and design and taking your time and fine motor control as well. Now here we're going to do candy canes. So that will go all the way around there. We want to do a nice little round at the bottom and around there. And then what we're wanting is the curve to fill in that space around at the bottom. So what you're trying to draw is even candy canes. I think that's getting slightly bigger, isn't it, as you go across there. And then we're going to draw the next one in this space here. Okay. Oh, you see, once you start losing concentration, it kind of goes a bit wobbly there. And then I'm going to draw the next one in here, because that's not very straight there, is it? It's the first one is perfect. It's because I'm talking. It all goes wrong. So that what we're actually doing is drawing this line down here. So it's this sort of diagonal line that we're really working on. Let me take a bit more time on that one. And then we can draw another one to fit into there. Like that. And if you wanted to, you could put half a candy cane in there. And maybe a bottom of a candy cane in there too, just to fill up the pattern. And in fact, you could maybe just do like that as well, just to fill up the whole square. Square? It's a rectangle. And then of course we want to do the candy cane spirally bits. So they want to be at an angle, but then you twist it around at the top. 'Tis the season to eat, drink and be merry. So let's draw some wine glasses. This is a wine glass pattern, so that will come down. Then you want a very shallow kind of triangle at the bottom. I'm just going to put a line across there. I could maybe draw some little shades like that. And then here I'm going to draw a more of a flute kind of wine, a champagne kind of glass like that. And we'll fill that up to the top. We'll have a few bubbles going up.
And then we will draw the same again, another wine glass. Maybe a little bit of shade in there, and then it wants to come down and across into that little triangular foot. And then, and we'll do 2 of these this time, so that's sort of come down, sitting on the bottom. So this is, you know, this is all about planning. So you can pencil these in to kind of work it out beforehand. But I think as a kind of a drawing exercise, oh, I kind of went a bit over on the end there. This is talking and drawing at the same time. As a drawing exercise, it's quite good just to go straight in with ink, just to see if you can make it fit into a neat design. And it's messy there, those aren't equal and everything, and as you're drawing it, it kind of looks really messy. Come back in a week's time and you won't see it, honestly. So next I'm going to do a gingerbread man, and I'm going to start here with a round bit there, and then we're going to draw the arms coming out like that, and then the legs will go down across a little bit like that, down and up, and then we're going to want little eyes and a mouth, and we can put a couple of kind of lines like that, and 1, 2, 3. And next we want this to fit in neatly, so I'm going to go around like that, and then we're going to go around. Oh, you see, but what we're trying to do is to create a pattern fitting in within this box. I'm going to put those little bits in there. That might come across. Ooh. And I'll do that, and a little smile, and little buttons down the front. And then what happens on this side? So this is all brain work. It really is. Trying to see if you can get it all to sort of work into a pattern. And we put the little bits there. So here I think we'll probably have a couple of feet, and there we'll have a couple of feet probably, and then here we're going to have a head and a head, and maybe a little quarter of a head there. We can just put the eyes coming in there. Now this is quite a tricky one, so we're going to draw a little V shape like that, and then another V shape underneath it. So we're following this line down there, and hopefully you can see a kind of a Christmas tree growing. I think that's probably as much as we need now. So then here we can then put a little pot underneath it like that. And now the next bit we can do V, or rather it's a triple M, isn't it now? So, and then we can do an M, and with a kind of a V on the top, although that's kind of expanded a bit. It's taking off, isn't it, like a rocket? And we can put that underneath it. And here we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a kind of a Christmas tree that you would get on a really bad Christmas jumper. And that's gone a bit bigger as well, hasn't it? So it's about trying to keep proportions and everything kind of working together. And here I think maybe we could just put the pots in underneath there like that to sort of keep the pattern looking correct. And here I'm going to start that V like that, and up and down and up and down, up and down. Oh, you see, not concentrating, I'm talking. Let's put that in there, that there. You see, but it's actually a lot more complicated than it looks when you're trying to talk as well. So that means we want another one about here that's just going to go like that, another one here, and we're going to do that on the top and that there, something like that, and then that will go on the top, and then that will go there, and that's kind of fitting in this. It's like a knitting pattern, isn't it, or a embroidery, something like that. And now let's try another Christmas tree kind of thing. This will be really simple. So we'll just do a triangle with a little pot on the bottom as well. And then we're going to want another one next to it. And again, we want to keep these all equal, and I think that is really the drawing practice comes. It's leaning over a bit. The drawing practice comes in the trying to make them all look the same. And we're going to get a little bit of that there. And what we'll do is we'll cover this one in Christmas lights like that. And then this one we're going to do in a kind of a curly zigzag with swags of something on there. And then that means that here we can maybe have a little bit like that, and a little bit like that, a little bit like that, a little bit like that, and then we're going to have the pot down below, and then this will be dotted, and then that'll be there, and that'll be dotted, and then here we can fit in a whole new tree like that. You don't have to stick to this pattern, or rectangle pattern. You can just do however you like. You can sort of move out and fill up the whole page if you want. You might use this as the basis for a Christmas card, or you might design your own wrapping paper. That'd be very adventurous. Or a backdrop, or a wallpaper in an illustration centre's house or something like that. You can use these patterns for all sorts of things.
Why not join me on Patreon for images, help sheets, advice, and a whole lot more?
Now this gets a little more complicated, so I'm going to come down a little bit and to one side, and I'm going to draw 2 ellipses like that. So they're kind of like tiger eyes. In fact, look, let's put the little eye in there like that. And then we're going to want to do 2 more like that, 2 more like that, and put the little eyes in there. They're not eyes, are they? Because this has a seasonal theme. So we're going to curve around and in around like that, and up around like that. So this is like a bell curve, if you remember your statistics and things at school like that. So it's called the bell curve, because it looks like a bell. So it's kind of curves up and around and then curves down again. So here we're going to want to do the same thing, and if we work out about that height, we want to do about the same here. Start about there, and we're going to draw these 2 kind of ellipses like that. Curve up and around and down, curve up and around and down, but we're kind of leaning in as well, aren't we? And a little bit of pattern, and we can draw little circles for the clappers inside. And let me think, how is this going to fit? How is this going to fit? I think we have to work this the other way around here, like that. And then, really we should be starting further down here, but I just want to get a little bit more of the bell in, really. And that will go there. And here we will go like that and that. Get a little bit of the ellipse in there, and we'll have a little bit there, and the pattern. You could make it even more interesting or animated with some kind of movement things in there as well. It just kind of fills it up a bit. Now this one I think we probably need to work from the middle and out. So we're going to draw a line straight down, and it's leaving an equal distance from the top to the bottom. And then we're going to draw 2 lines across like that. And then we will draw little V's like that. And maybe little ones again at the top to create a snowflake. I am going to do this now diagonally, I think. So I'm going to take that one down there, that one there like that, and then that one as the vertical. So we're following that line, and then we want these little V's halfway down like that, and then little V's on the end as well. And this, all of these are deceptively simple. They look really easy, but they are not. So we'll follow that line, and that one, and that one. V, 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 V. Little arrows pointing into the middle. So you can think of them as things on the outside, but you can also think of them as arrows pointing in. We're going to have the same thing happening here and here. And we really want to be able to follow that line down as well. So it's using cues from the previous ones you've done. The more you do it, that it grows out. You can use the spacing you've already worked out. So that should sort of follow down. It doesn't quite, does it? And then here we'll have half a star. And here we'll have half a snowflake. And here again we're going to start right in the middle, and we're going to draw 3 holly berries. And then we can draw 3 lines coming out from it. And that's the spine of a holly berry. So we go curve, 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 curve. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then where does the next one fit? Well, let's follow that line there, and we'll bring that down to about there, and we're going to draw berry, berry, berry. That will come down to there. We can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's shooting off in that direction. We can do that. So then we can do a similar thing here, and there'll be a berry, berry, berry. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's going to come down there. That's going to come up there, which means then, if you think of this point as being that point, then we're pointing at 3 new holly berries, which are going to be roughly about there, and that will do the same here. Yeah, so that's going off that way. Wait a minute, now we want one coming down there, don't we, and one coming up there. So, see, I'm getting lost here as well. So we can do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it needs a little bit of thought, doesn't it? And here we can have another one. Will be coming down here like that. I think. Maybe not, but it kind of works and looks all right, doesn't it? And it fills up those spaces. And I'm going to fit another one there. whether it's accurate or not, just to fill up that space and make it look right. Magically, we have a new sheet. So let's start in the middle here, and we're going to draw little gift packages like that, little bits on the top. And this is pretty simple, isn't it? So we can make this, that will come to about there, and we can just work our way across. And again, you know, it's deceptively simple, because you're kind of thinking, where shall I start the next one? So you're thinking, well, around about there. So if I have the bow about like that, then that means that I'll draw the little box about there, which means the next one will be about there. And we're wanting to keep them all nice and equidistant and equisized. Is that the word? Equal, anyway. So we want to make them look all similar. You can fit a little thing in there like that. And then you see, you have to work out that you've got the ribbon on the top. And that's going to go to about there. So we're not going to fit the whole thing in. And we can draw the box like that. And I'm just going to zip through all the boxes that we could fit in there. And by this stage, you know, you're getting kind of crazy. And you think, I'm just going to zoom through this and lose all your concentration, and it all starts falling to bits. Because that should have been up there for a start, shouldn't it? This is going to be a really tricky tree to draw. So it's going to be a spiral. It's going to come down and around and around, so it's getting slightly wider each time, and then we'll bring that to about there, draw a little pot on the end, and we can just draw some little baubles on it as well. And now trying to make that look equal, it's going to be really difficult. I think that's even got an extra spiral in it. I don't know. Okay, like that. And we can put some little decorations on it. Maybe do that. And then let's try again. 2, 3, 4, 5. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they are equal. That's right. Good. And then we can put some little decorations on. So let's start about there. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and around. And that kind of fits in nicely, doesn't it? You could probably put a little kind of star around the top like that as well. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's gone haywire. There's a thing about, oh, now this is going to be really difficult to fit something in on the end there, right? So let's see. So that will come around like that, and there, and there, and there, kind of. I think that side's going to be the easiest. And then this side here will come like around like that, and like that, and then this will have to come a bit bigger, and then a little box at the bottom. I'm not convinced by that one. And then we need some decoration as well. There's the thing about drawing like this is that it's sort of your kind of chattery brain shuts down, and you can become very nice and calm. And I'm going to do a different kind of present here, starting in the middle. And your brain can become really, really nice and calm. And and you'll find it suddenly becomes difficult to talk and to sort of make words, which is what I'm having difficulty now when you concentrate on drawing. Because you're using completely different kind of parts of your brain and some analytical parts of your brain. And it's a really, really calming kind of thing to do. So let's put that about there, I think. And that's why every now and then when I'm doing this and I'm talking, it all goes a little bit wrong, because then the kind of the word side of my brain starts taking over. and it starts trying to write what I'm doing. I think it's probably what happens, and so it sort of scribbles across the page rather than taking time and drawing it. So these are different kind of presents. Gift boxes, shall we call them. This is going to be a little bit more tricky. So we're going to go up and down and around like that. And what we're drawing are reindeer. It doesn't look like a reindeer, does it? So, and then we're going to come across, down a little bit, and a little blob. And then we can shade all that in. And we can put an ear and a tail. And then we want, oh, I should have left a bit more room for the antlers. And then we're going to have flying reindeer, like that. And then we're going to want one going the opposite direction. And this is where it's going to be really difficult to make them even. I think this one's going to be a bit bigger. It's going to be Big Brother. So this wants to come across, down, across, and back, like that. And then, oh, little tail. There we go. And so then what we're going to want is to have one coming this way, aren't we now? So we're going to draw the body going like, no, that doesn't look right at all, does it? Looks more like a worm. That comes across and forwards. And the ear, oh, we're going to get the antlers in the way, and then we want a little tail and the legs. And then this one will be going the other way, so let's get that coming up like that. If you get the basic shape in there to start off with, it'll all come together. So down, down and across like that. And an ear and a tail, and then the antlers going up and then the legs coming forward like that. So I think probably here we're going to see a little tail and a couple of legs, and here we're going to see a head, so that will come forward like that, and then probably little legs and things like that as well. That is quite tricky. Let's do some Christmas decorations. So I'm going to draw around about there. I'm going to draw a circle, a little box on the top, and then the little bit that you hang it from, and 2 lines across, some little circles like that. And then we should be able to fit another one there and another one there, trying to make them look round and trying to make them look an equal size. And then we can put those little X's in there again. So now we want them to fit about, no, let's do the little circles there, and then the little box underneath it. And then you're going to want to draw circles that are the same size underneath. So it's, yeah, you know, this takes a bit of thinking about planning as well, and we can maybe draw some little kind of shading bits in there as well. So there's going to be a bit there and a bit there, and then I think we might even get some tiny little bits like that creeping into the top. Who doesn't love a pretzel? Well, I suppose some people do. I always make this mistake by saying everybody loves such and such, and then there's always a hand goes up. Says, I don't. Right, this is kind of a heart. We're going to take that line down to about there, and then we're going to bring that down to there, so that we can bring that across to there like that. Now we're going to want to do the same there, but it's going to be disappearing off the page, isn't it? So we do the same thing. That will be coming across there like that. This wants to come into there, and then we kind of tuck that all behind. Are you with me? Okay, this is going to want to come down like that and around. Have that bit folding over. And then we take that around there and that around there. So the next one we want to sort of fit in nicely around there. And again, bring that down and around. Fit that bit there, and that all fits in around there. And the more you do these, you suddenly find your hand becomes used to it. It's kind of called muscle memory. And suddenly you find you can do them much more quickly because there's a pattern to it, and you can just kind of go around and do it. How about some Christmas puddings? So let's draw a sort of a round Christmas pudding with some custard or something on the top, with a little cherry as well. Oh, actually, we don't really want a cherry. Anyway, let's do this first. Okay, and then we can do a kind of a more... this is kind of, sort of an old-fashioned steamed one, and this is made in a bowl. And then here I think we really want to have some kind of vegetation on the top. If you've got room, make it holly. Let's try and make it holly like that. Yeah, we can do that with some little berries. And then we want to do... I think we're not going to fit these in. I wonder whether we should have a plate in there as well, probably something like that. So we'll have a little plate in there, and then that will be there, and that will fit there, and we're going to try and fit another something in there, and then on the top here, so this one will be round about there and that wants to be there. So this is a... have to keep thinking which one is one. So that's the round one, isn't it? So they all look pretty much the same on the top, don't they? They all just look round. And let's put something there. Let's have some mistletoe or something. We'll just have that on the top of them all. And then lots of fruit and currants down below. Talking of mistletoe, let's start here. Put a couple of mistletoe berries like that, and then a bit of a stalk, and then two little curves like that. So it looks a bit like a bull or something, doesn't it? And then we draw the mistletoe leaves around the side like that. So how do we turn this into a pattern? Let's bring this to the side around about there, I should think, something like that. Except that wanted to be more down there, didn't it? Like that. And then we can bring the leaves around like that. And then I think what we probably need to do is to draw a similar leaf sort of coming like that there. And then we can just put the stalks in here. I think that's all we need to do up at that point. And here we're going to have, let's have those two, the eyes of the bull, like that. And then that's going to come up and around there, up and around there. You're going to see something like that there. And maybe a bit on there as well. And I think that kind of does our mistletoe pattern. It wouldn't be seasonal without a jolly snowman. So I'm going to draw a little snowman like that with two balls like that. Somebody recently was saying, when did snowmen stop being 3 balls high? So this one is, I think it's because it's just easier to draw that way, really. And I'm going to draw another one about there, I think, with a little, 2 little eyes and a carrot for a nose and a hat. And we want a scarf on as well, like that. Do we want a little a brush? We used to give them an old kind of witch's brush, a besom. And then we'll draw a bit like that there. And you're not going to see much of the hat. But I think here we can then draw this one here going at a different angle. It just makes it that bit more interesting. And more complicated for the brain to follow as well. So this one will then be about there, won't it? A little carrot. And we want our scarf and our besom going out like that. Little buttons down the front, and we're going to want buttons down the front. And here I think you could just kind of fill in between with little kind of snowballs or snowflakes, whatever, however you want to think of them. That makes that quite fun. And magically, there's another one. Let's see if we can fill all these ones up too. This is going to be a more complicated Christmas tree decoration. So that then wants to come around like that, maybe with a little bobble on the bottom. And then we've got the bit on there, and then we're going to have a circle in the middle, and we're going to cross it there, and you can maybe put a little line through as well, like that. That was more complicated. So here, let's see if we can bring that down to there, and to keep this fairly equal. It's kind of like a turnip, isn't it? I wonder whether that's where this shape came from originally. You know, because Halloween and things around about then, you know, it used to be turnip lanterns. So it's just a thought that has just struck me. So we want that little kind of square on the top. Yeah, that could be it. I think I've just struck on something. Christmas gold. There we go. And then here we're going to want to see this coming down and up. And this will come down, a little bobble at the end. There's always a bobble at the end because it's kind of blown glass. At least originally they were. I don't know what they're all plastic now, aren't they? Not all plastic. I'm being a bit sweeping there. There's been a bit of a vogue, I think, recently for nice old-fashioned glass mirrored Christmas tree decorations. I've certainly bought a few recently, but I'm not old-fashioned ones like this. I bought Spacemen and strange things. I bought one which is a beautiful one, which is a little model of the moon for this year. That's my, every year I get a new decoration, and that's my new one for this year. I think that works quite nicely. And now let's try a holly wreath. So we're going to come around that way and around that way. Does it have to be holly? I don't know. So let's put little decorations on it like that, and then maybe it's a bit more tricky, isn't it? Anyway, so this is basically drawing circles, drawing rough wiggly circles like that, and a little bit of roughness in between. And in terms of a sort of drawing practice thing, it's about trying to make something really, really rough look equal and like it's meant to be there as well. So let's put another one about there. And I think if you were doing this, then I think it would probably make more sense if you were drawing in green and kind of adding little red bows and baubles and things on. I drew that much too quickly. That became a curve rather than, a wreath made of organic material, shall we say, holly or fir or whatever. And again, you see, I think I've just drawn a circle there because I kind of forgotten what it is, because I'm thinking already about getting on to drawing the next one, which is, I think we should have Santa in here somewhere. So I'm going to draw a little circle like that, and a little curve around the top, a bigger curve around the bottom. Give him eyes and a nose, and then we can draw a little hat on the side. We want to draw a circle, curve around the beard, eyes, nose, and the hat. Can we fit this in? Probably. So if we do something like that, yes, there we go. And we can, you can maybe kind of add extra little bits like smiles and things like that. And so we'll need to start around about there, I think, and that will come around there, and the hat and the eyes. I'm giving him a smile this time. No, giving him a bigger nose. There we are. And so here again we'll draw like that. That's the white furry bit around the top. That's his beard, that's his nose. So I think we're going to get something like that there. And then we're just going to get his beard and his beard and a bit of beard and a bit of beard there. That's all we're going to see, I think. And next I'm going to have some angels. So I'm going to draw a circle and a little nose on the front. And I think I'm just going to draw hair like that. And then we want a kind of trapezoid body, a little arm coming forward like that, and then a couple of legs, and then out like that, and wiggle, 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 wiggle back again like that, and wiggle, wiggle there. So now we need to draw the same again. So we can maybe think, right, nose, and then we could maybe have, that doesn't quite work, does it? There we are. So we're going to miss the trumpet on this one, I think. And we're going to want, we can maybe have another little hand down there. And again, I think this is probably a bit too close, isn't it? So we're going to want to, where is that? So this trumpet's going to be about there. That arm coming down there. So we want the head like that, coming about there, and the body will be coming about there. My poor pen is starting to dry up. Which means then we're going to get these feet coming about there, with a bit of hint of wing coming down there. There's another body with some feet and a bit of wing, a little bit of hint of body. And here we're going to have that, and we know that we want to have, so that we want another head about there, with the trumpet about there, And we know that the wing sort of goes over the trumpet like that. That's a much more tricky one, that. This is going to be a bit more like the reindeer, so we're going to have a little shape like that and a little shape like that, and this is going to be a cute little Christmas robin, which is going to have a little Christmas hat on like Santa and a beak. Oh, they're kissing, there we go. And being a robin, it has a red breast like that. That can be its wings. And then we just need a couple of legs, really. Don't make it too hard on yourself. So then we want to kind of do that the other way, really, don't we? And that's sort of, I don't think that's right. Is that? Yeah, there we are. I want the legs there. And then we want something like that. We might have the little hats appearing there as well, like that. Which means here we're going to want to have two little beaks like that, and a little hat. And this needs a little bit of thinking about, so we want to have the hat there and a beak and a beak, so that will be coming around like that, and with the eye there. And that means we're just going to see the legs coming down there like that. So this requires a lot of imagination, to thinking, how does this pattern work? But as I say, you don't have to confine it to this little square. You can just let the pattern grow. Now I'm going to do a couple of fairy light kind of things. So we want to draw these stripes so they're very similar, like that. And then we want to draw little boxes with those kind of little pea bulbs that you can get like that. And then in between, oh no, let's think. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it like that. And that one wants to go in between there. So just think of them as little curve, curve, little box. Curve, curve, little box. Curve, curve, little box. So they're those little kind of, you know what I mean. Those kind of little sort of fairy lights that you get. I don't think you get them so much now, actually. I think they got so ingenious with fairy lights that they all come in different shapes and sizes, and I'm not a fan of a lot of LED lights because they're just so hard, bright colours. And I think you need those nice sort of warm lights to brighten up winter nights. For some reason, when I came to edit this, these last three weren't on the digital file, but so they disappeared somewhere, so I'm going to just do them again. And the first one was these Christmas lights. So we want to have 4 lines coming down equally. That's actually harder than it initially seems. And sideways, we're going to put these little pea bulbs in here like that. Just draw them in there, and then in the space in between we'll draw another one off the other side, and then we want to draw them from this side fitting in between. And it doesn't matter if they're a little bit kind of wonky, because you know, when you get Christmas lights out after they've been sat in a box for a year, they do get a bit kind of wonky, don't they? So I'll just zip through the rest of this. And next we are going to do Christmas stockings. So find kind of the centre here and just go slightly to one side and draw a line going up and a line going up. And we're going to use that to draw 2 parallelograms, which are kind of angled against each other. So those are the kind of the furry tops of the stockings, which come down into a boot shape. And so you get the toe there. Put a little hanger. And we want to put some stripes in there, don't we? Maybe some dots as well. And the next one will go up like that. And then this one will come up like that. Ish. It's actually a bit more difficult than you think. I'm going to want to have the next two kind of starting like that. So I'm drawing these two like that to let me understand where these top ones are going to work. So that's going to be coming around about here. So we want the boot then to be sort of round about there, and then that will go to there. That will then come around like that, and that will come around like that. That works, I think. And then we can put these stripes in, maybe some dots in between to make it look more like it's been knitted. We need some little loops in there as well, don't we? I feel we need to put a little something in there. I don't know, so we could have some snowflakes or something like that, just to fill up that space. And then finally, I'm going to draw hats, Christmas hats. So we'll draw a little parallelogram, and that is the furry bit, the band around the top of a Santa hat, which has a little ball on the side. And then we want to have two more parallelograms with a semicircle and a bobble on the top, a semicircle, bobble on the top. And then those are going to be Christmas bobble hats. So the next one will then want to be about there like that. It's going to come around into a bobble, which means then we're going to want to put in these parallelograms first, and then you'll be able to keep up with it. We want a bobble hat on that side. We want a bobble hat there without a bobble. We want a Santa hat there. So those will have the bobble hat bits. And then we'll be wanting a bobble hat here. So let's work our way down like that. There's a bobble hat. So the next one will then be a Santa hat, and then we'll have a bobble hat. And this will be a Santa hat like that. So we can then put a little bobble on the end there. We want to have a bobble on the end there, and then that's going to be a bobble hat there. And I think maybe we need something there. Maybe we see a Santa bobble there as well.
That was a long one. Thanks for watching. Do come and join me on Patreon, where you'll be able to get downloads of all these patterns. And in the meantime, keep drawing, drawing, drawing. Practice, practice, practice. And I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.